Hello everyone and welcome to another match preview on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzy and I'm your host for today's show. It's been a long layoff as International Week is finally over and the Premier League resumes once again. In match week 4, Liverpool will be continuing their great start to the season as they face Nottingham Forest at Anfield. So during the show, we'll cover both teams. I'll also present the predicted lineups, highlight the tactical approach from both teams, and also present my score predictions. So in terms of head-to-head, Forest have had a decent start to the season. They've beat Southampton in match week 2, claiming their first win of the season, but they also drew their other 2 games against Bournemouth and Wolves. So they're currently unbeaten, which is a great start for them. So this will definitely be a difficult task and probably their biggest test of the season so far. And speaking of not being beaten, Liverpool have shown some fantastic form as well. 3 wins out of 3, 7 goals scored, and 0 goals conceded. Now, if Arne Slot wins this game, he has the chance of becoming the first manager to win their first consecutive games without defeating Premier League history. So, what a start he's had as Liverpool coach, and long may it continue. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this new brand of football at Liverpool. And with this more calm and composed approach, I feel like it would really benefit the team in the long term. Where in the past, this is no disrespect to our previous regime, players tend to get burnt out very quickly due to the high intensity of our gameplay. With this manager, with this new approach, you would say it reduces the chances of players being exhausted or burnt out to an extent where, they're picking up serious injuries or niggling injuries that are recurring. So, hopefully Liverpool can have a season where we're not picking up as many injuries as we have done over the years. But even though it's as rosy as it is right now, the coming weeks will show us Liverpool fans, but also the football world, if Liverpool are the real deal, especially under Arne Slot, as we'll be playing 7 games in the next 22 days. So that's definitely going to test the strength and depth of the squad. And to be honest, I do expect the coach to rotate the squad a little bit more in the coming weeks. So we'll see how he sets his team up. But in terms of this fixture, thankfully, it's not a midday kickoff, which is a pleasant surprise. And it's normally a regular thing for Liverpool on a Saturday. The FA literally throw us under the bus. But they've been leading with us to some extent as it's a 3 p.m. kickoff time in the UK. So let's go through the team news and see who's available for this fixture. Now, in terms of the home team, Liverpool, unfortunately, Harvey Elliott suffered a broken foot whilst on international duty. So it looks like he could be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which is a huge blow for the team and also for the youngster because he didn't play that many games in the Premier League, but he was very active in pre-season. And you can see Arne Slot really enjoying the way Harvey Elliott has blossomed in this number 10 role. I feel like us fans are very excited about that as well. So, yeah, huge blow. I think he definitely would have got a run of games in the next sort of month or 2 with the Champions League campaign starting next week as well. So, yeah, bad timing for Liverpool and the player. But, this is part and parcel of the game. Curtis Jones and Alexis McAllister should be in contention to be selected in the squad. They've picked up some recent injuries. New signing Federico Chiesa is fit and ready to be selected in the squad after some rigorous training in the AXA training center. So hopefully he can make his debut this weekend. Whether it's from the start, from the bench, remains to be seen. In terms of Nottingham Forest, Forest could be giving out some debuts to James Ward-Prowse and Morato, who has yet to play any minutes so far. Unfortunately, Danilo is recovering from a horrific ankle injury that he picked up in the opening games. So he's on the road to recovery at the moment. And Willy Bolly, unfortunately, picked up a calf injury whilst on international duty. So he's not available for selection. So what we'll do now, we will do the predicted lineups and we'll start with the home team. So let's go and switch on the graphics here. So in terms of Liverpool, we're playing 4-2-3-1 formation now. Obviously, the shape and the formation does change during the game, but from a sort of demonstration point of view, we'll stick to 4-2-3-1. And it's the system, to be fair, that's working. A lot of players are really blossoming with the likes of Gravenberg, who's probably playing his best football up to date. Not sure if you guys saw his assist over the international week for Holland. Absolutely sublime assist there. Very Trent-esque the way he executed that pass. So a lot of fans didn't think he had that in his locker. I'm not one of them. I've been a big fan of his for quite a long time. So for me, I'm just happy to see him fulfill his potential. Obviously, it's early days. Don't get me wrong. It's only been a few games into the season. But I feel like if he continues the way he's playing, then, yeah, we've got a real player in our hands right now. So in terms of the team, I'm not expecting rotation so quickly after international break. So it will be Alisson in goal. And our number 2 has had a lot to say in the international break as well, and that is Kelleher, who's come out and said that he wants to be a number 1 at a club, not just at Liverpool, and he's made this sort of concerns or this sort of statement to the officials at the club. Apparently, we rejected a bid in the summer. I'm not sure the context in terms of what the bid was or who even the club was, but I do feel like he was fully communicating that we should, he should stay for 1 more year and then we'll see how it goes. But then we've gone on and signed a goalkeeper for next year, so we future-proofed our sort of long-term investment in terms of the goalkeeping department. So I do feel for him. Some fans have said that he should have said those comments, but I do feel like he's entitled to voice his opinion and his concerns in terms of his sort of short-term future at the club. And he does have a right to his trade. Imagine, you're working and you've been told that someone is going to join next year and it's pretty much the same job title as yourself. So you will feel a certain type of way. But I think for Kelleher, he's professional. He's not going to make a scene or disrupt the harmony of the squad. I do feel like he's going to give his all whenever he's called upon. So it's just one of those things where for him, he needs to produce his best moments whenever he's being called upon, and hopefully that will attract some suitors for him next year. So I think in terms of his transfer value, that's a big talking point. So some players that have been sold in the summer went for like 25, 30 million. I feel like he's better than some of the keepers. So the player that comes to mind is Ramsdale. Ramsdale's a decent keeper, but I would say Kelleher is a much better keeper than him. So if he's gone for 25 million, Kelleher definitely is worth 13 million. But we'll discuss transfers and all that stuff in due course. It's not probably the time to do it right now, but just some food for thought in terms of what our number 2 is currently thinking right now. And I didn't see any sort of harm in terms of what he said. I don't think he was disrespectful to the club. And Arne Slot confirmed that in the press conference this morning, that you'd be concerned if a second goalkeeper is happy to be on the bench. But the way he's communicated, he's done it perfectly well. So no sort of issues with the coach there. He understands his position, and rightly so. So in terms of that situation, it's onwards and upwards. I don't think there's any issues there whatsoever. Now, in terms of the back 4, Trent has to start. He's been fantastic for England. People have come to realize how good of a football player he is. And the Southgate England fans or neutral fans, I'm not going to put Liverpool fans into this because we know what he's capable of, but they seem to have forgotten how much of a quality player he was, just because Southgate didn't favour him doesn't mean he's a bang average player, because if you look into it, he's only dropped from the lineups is because he's not a defensive player. Southgate, he selects his squad where he's at like 9-10 defenders. So he's always defense first when it comes to his sort of football philosophy. But when you've got even an interim coach right now in Lee Carsley, he's a bit more of a forward-minded coach, and you can tell in terms of how the team was playing over the international break. So in terms of Trent, we all know what he's got. He's like a 2 back-to-back games, 2 man of the match awards as well. It's not a coincidence. We all know what he's capable of. We all know what his ability is. So defensively, I feel like he does get disrespected. I don't think he's an average defender, or he's championship level, which is being disrespected by certain pundits on the media. I feel like he's a quality player. Defensively, yes, obviously there's areas for him to improve, but when you're so efficient, when you're going forward, and so blessed in terms of your passing ability and your overall game, there will be some aspects of your game where it'll be weaker than others. And look, you look at all the great fullbacks from years, like the likes of Roberto Carlos and Tafu, the two that I, enjoyed watching over the years when I was a youngster. They weren't defensively the best, were they? But attacking-wise, they were phenomenal. So let's appreciate in terms of what he brings to the table rather than what he doesn't to a small-minded sort of corner of a fan base, I would say. So, but no, obviously in this game, he's in good spirit right now, so definitely starts in this game. Obviously, his fitness has been a slight concern for Arne Slot. That's why he's been taken off sort of around the hour mark in his last few games. But hopefully he's, picked up that level of fitness that he needs and probably complete the 90 minutes. However, I don't have an issue with him, coming off an hour after an hour. We've got a lot of games coming up in the next few weeks, so we need to manage the players' minutes. They don't need to play the full 90 minutes, especially if there is a big goal line difference. So for me, that's more important. Where if the score is 2-3 goals gap, then you might as well rest some of the players and allow some of our squad players to get some minutes under their belt as well. So don't be surprised if you see Conor Bradley making another cameo in this fixture. In terms of the centre-back pairing, I was debating to put on Kwanzaa for this fixture just to kind of rotate the squad. But I feel like with this fixture, with a 2-week layoff, I feel like a lot of the first-team players would want to just kind of hit the ground running from what they left off 2 weeks ago. So I wouldn't personally rotate the squad too much in this fixture anyway. So I'm sticking with Konate in the defense, and then alongside him will be our captain Virgil van Dijk. A lot of talk about his contractual situation. Right now, it's just rumors. We just have to wait and see and pray as well, because losing Van Dijk, Trent, or Salah for me is, it's not something that I don't want to think about. So I'm sure we'll be talking about this topic in weeks to come. In terms of the left back, I'll stick with Robertson unless there's any injury issues, which I don't think there is. He will be fit and available for selection. Originally, I thought McAllister might not have been able to participate in this game, but Arne Slot confirmed that he has trained yesterday and today, so he is fully fit and should be available for selection. So I definitely think Gravenberch starts in, so let me put him in the mix. I can see Arne Slot starting McAllister, but then taking him off and bringing on Curtis Jones in his place later in the game, so Curtis Jones can get some minutes under his belt. He's been out for a couple of weeks with an injury himself, so I think he'd start this midfield. It's our strongest midfield right now. Some may say, we should rest these players or one of these players with the thinking of next fixture, with one eye on the next fixture, which is against AC Milan on Tuesday night. So I understand it, but I feel like you've got to regain that momentum. We've had a 2-week layoff. I think the team needs to hit the ground running and try and continue their great form, and then the confidence will be high going into the AC Milan game. And to be fair, we've got such a great squad. I do feel like we can rotate here and there, and we wouldn't feel too much of a drop off, especially with the front line that I'm about to discuss right now. So, in terms of the right wing, it remains to be Mohamed Salah. At this stage, I would like to see Chiesa play very soon, but I do feel like he will be slowly embedded into the firing lineup. So right now, Mohamed Salah will play in the right wing, and with no Javier, I think Szoboszlai pretty much keeps his place in the team. And this is when I was debating if it would be Gakpo or Diaz, considering Diaz has just come from international duty. Normally, under Klopp, whenever the South American players come back from international duty, they normally don't start these Saturday fixtures, but they normally are midday kickoffs. So due to the traveling and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit blindsided in terms of that aspect of the game. I would still like to see Diaz start just to continue his momentum, and he's in such great confidence right now. I feel like to place him on the bench might not be wise at this stage, but that's the manager's, or should I say the coach's job to manage that sort of situation. But I think maybe he can play like an hour like McAllister, and then we can bring on Gakpo for the last half an hour. Up top, I'm sticking with Jota. It wasn't the best of performances in his last fixture, but I have a faith in our gunman. I believe he will score a lot of goals for us, and yeah, he will only improve the more games he plays. He just needs to stay injury free. That is only his concern right now. So hopefully, he gets that under the belt. I'm not sure what's going on with my internet connection here. Let me try this again. Searching. There you go. Managed to find it. So that is my lineup. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Let me go through some of the comments right now. So big up to Richard as always. He says, hi, Ozzy, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to you as well, Richard. He says, how are you? And also, how's your family, friends, and loved one? Like, comment, share, subscribe. You never walk on. Thanks. Big up yourself, Richard. All good, thank you. Hope you are doing well as well. And yeah, appreciate your support there as always. He's given us his prediction. So he's given a 3-0 victory to Liverpool. And he's also said Arsenal and Spurs ending 2-2, and not bad shouts at all. And then Richard also said Liverpool needs to rotate because we have AC Milan on Thursday at San Siro. I agree. I was thinking that with my selection as well. But maybe I'm just thinking more about the Premier League rather than the Champions League, which normally isn't the case for Liverpool. We normally focus more on the sort of Champions League aspect. But because the format's a little bit different with the Champions League, I feel like there's a bit more leeway to try and gain the points further on, whereas you're playing more games now. So I want us to continue this great form where we're keeping clean sheets, and 4 games, winning 4 games in a row would be nice. So I've probably gone for a very strong lineup, but that's how I'm thinking right now. So let's see what Arsenal does. Mitchell said Nation League and International need to be scrapped 3 weeks and in the middle of the season. I agree. I think it's like the worst timing to have this Nation League. For me, is a lot of nonsense, if I'm being brutally honest. And International Week, the season has just started for everyone in the world, not just teams in England. So it's far too early to do these sort of fixtures. It could have been planned a bit better. I know we've got one coming up in October, November, I believe, as well. So, let that be the first run of games rather than doing it so early on. Apparently the players aren't playing enough games. That's why they've increased games in terms of the Champions League and in international football. They're adding, these competitions like Nation League and all this nonsense. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Richard says, Harvey, get well soon. We don't need injuries in there. Yeah, just a bit of an unlucky one. Pick up a foot injury. I know he picked up that injury a couple of years ago with his ankle. So hopefully it's not a recurring one with regards to that. But yeah, he'll be fit and raring to go when he comes back. So yeah, hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. Which is FA, FIFA, and UEFA need to look at Barcelona. So let's see Chelsea's books properly. Well, look, Man City have been investigated right now, but let's be honest, guys, it's not going to be a conclusion anytime soon. It'll probably take a year or two, maybe. I'm not even exaggerating, because I think they're trying to estimate that it will be a decision would come to around May, June sort of time. I think it'll take far longer for that to happen. But yeah, Barcelona, they seem to have endless money when it comes to transfer, but they don't have the space to register certain players. And Chelsea, God knows what kind of cartel they're running there, because they've got about a squad of 50 players right now, and they've already loaned out and sold about another 50 themselves. So yeah, all sorts going on there. Richard also said, we need Kaiser, Gakpo, Kwanzaa, Gomez, Nunes, Hala, Bradley, Simicast, Endo. Need to use it Nottingham Forest, AC Man upcoming fixtures. I definitely agree. I feel like in this game, we'll probably, if this is the lineup, for example, I think a lot of the players will be coming off quite early in the game. Maybe in half time, you just never know. But I think a lot of players will be given an hour, and a lot of players will be given half an hour to play. That's what I would do anyway, just to kind of get the wheels rolling again, as they say. So, but yeah, we'll see how strong the lineup is into this fixture. And in terms of our opposition, let's quickly present their team as well. So they traditionally play a 4-2-3-1 formation as well. So let's stick to the script. So they will probably have, I believe it's Sells, who's their main goalkeeper. So he will start in between the sticks. And then in terms of the back four, you've got a former red in Nico Williams. Definitely want to make an impression against his former club, especially at Anfield. And then you've got the new signing, Milinkovic, who actually had a great Euros as well. So good signing there from Nottingham Forest there. And alongside it will be Murillo, Brazilian left-sided centre-back there. There we go. And then on the left, I'd probably say it's Ola Aina, who starts in that fixture. His name is there. Very strange, his name is not there. There you go. Very versatile player, so he can actually play on the right, can play a bit more further up. But in this fixture, I believe he will play at left back. I have a feeling Ward-Prowse might get his debut in this fixture. They probably want a player that's a bit more controlling that centre of the park, so he definitely fits the bill, and he will be playing alongside Elliot Anderson. And if they need a bit more stability in the middle of the park, they can always bring on the likes of Sangare, who's a bit of a destroyer, so he can definitely come on later on in the game. In terms of their front four, we've got Alanga, who's definitely a player we need to be wary of, very quick, especially on the counter attack. Yeah, he's got some burners on it. He's really quick on the ball. So Robertson will definitely need to make sure he's not too sort of forward-minded in terms of his run, but also one of the DMs will need to make sure they cover Robertson whenever, and it'll probably most likely be McAllister, who normally plays on the left side of the double pivot. In that number 10 role, it will be the man in Gibbs White. On the left, it's going to be Hudson-Odoi, who has kind of rediscovered himself at Nottingham Forest. He signed last year for about £5 million, which is absolute peanuts right now. And yeah, he's been given the minutes, been given a chance to play. And it looks like he's enjoying his football game, which is good to see, especially for a young player. And up top, I think they'll start with Chris Wood. It won't be the former Red in Awani. I think Chris Wood's been a good goal scoring form. So this will be the predicted lineup from a Nottingham Forest point of view. The players we need to look out for are definitely the two wingers, Hudson-Odoi, Alanga, especially Alanga, who's really quick and can be unstoppable on counter-attack. Gibbs White as well, very good on the ball, very silky in terms of his dribbling. but he knows how to play in between the lines, and he can definitely shoot from distance and have an impact in front of goal. And then if Ward-Prowse to start, he's someone where we're going to have to mark quite tightly and make sure he doesn't have any influence in the game. He's got fantastic passing distribution, so if he's been given space on the ball, then he will definitely ping balls around, and set pieces, we all know what he's capable of. So trying to avoid giving fouls away, that's probably one for Groundwork, that's probably one of his weaknesses, where he does give fouls away here and there. So try not to get too close to the area, because that will definitely give Nottingham Forest an upper hand, especially if they've got Ward-Prowse in the lineup. That is my predicted lineup for Forest. Now, in terms of the scoreline, Richard has gone for 3-0, and funny enough, I've written the same scoreline down as well. So I'm going for a 3-0 victory for Liverpool. We will continue our goal scoring form, and we'll continue to maintain our clean sheets as well, which is a fantastic trait to have. Something we're not too familiar with over the years, but it's quite refreshing to see. In terms of the goal scorers, I'm going for Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, and Szoboszlai goals to help Liverpool get the W. So that is my scoreline, that is my predictions, and that is the end of the show, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Richard, for your comments. As always, appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. In terms of upcoming shows, hopefully we're doing a live watch along tomorrow. It's 3 p.m. kickoff, so I'll be live from 2:50 p.m. UK time, and then we'll also follow up with a match reaction show later in the evening at 11 p.m. UK time, and it's also a calling show. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, the floor is yours. A link will be pinned in the live chat. So yeah, everyone's welcome to come on and give me your thoughts on the game. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you again for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.